Hello, welcome to the Kristen Willow Show. I'm your host, Kristen Willisanovich. Let me just tell you, so excited to be back. A year and a half hiatus. Zachary, my beautiful producer, my handsome producer, Zach, is in the Gateway Hotel and Convention Center studio. We are more than thrilled. I cannot believe we're back, Zach. It's been a long time, and I am in the studio with my two good friends. I have Jeff Berry. I have Harley Wallen from Painted Creek Productions. You guys, you're on the first show. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm excited. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, for sure. Excited to be here. That's for sure. It's going to be a good time.
Well, that's an understatement. That's a given. What do you think of the studio, fellas?
I like it.
We got more.
I think it has a lot of potential. Let's put it this way.
Yes, lots
That
of
means
potential.
that's code for you got a lot of work to do, you two. But right now, it's a good start.
Zach,
Yes.
you got your work cut out for you.
Oh, he knows that. And he's been with me. God, we're going on like 8 years or some shit like that. How long have we been together, fella? Too long. 6, 7 years.
Like you guys are married to read each other's minds. I can see it.
You know what it is? It's like Frasier and Roz. That's kind of what it's like. It's like Frasier and Roz because he's normal and I'm not. But he's used to just this mouth. Shannon's my alter ego, Shannon's mouth, and he's not fazed by it. So it's
And
pretty
he's
cool.
Roz? You're Shannon, he's Roz?
He's Roz.
Gotcha.
He is way Roz. So, Jeff, this all started because you and I were put into contact through our good friend Carol Jaworski. Shout out Carol Jaws.
Hey,
Holla,
Carol.
Yeah,
City of
Carol, you
Squala.
rock.
She does rock, doesn't she?
She's awesome.
She's a badass.
She's also my lawyer.
We won't. That's for the next show. So, anyways, Jeff Berry, you and Harley run Painted Creek Productions. Shameless plug, shameless plug. And Harley Wallen is the film director. They make movies. You make short films, you make movies, you make long movies, short movies. You do everything that is movies. Correct, Jeff? I'll start with you.
That's correct.
And then what do you do for Painted Creek Productions, Jeff?
I'm a producer and a location scout. I am also a UPM.
What is UPM?
Unit production manager.
Love that for you. Go ahead.
Kind of run the show. Harley's right-hand man, so
And
whatever he needs, Harley gets.
And okay. And how long have you guys had Painted Creek Productions? I'll go with you, Harley.
I think we formed 8 years ago.
8?
So, yeah, it's been a minute now.
8's a lucky number, isn't it? Yeah. And so you're the film director, Harley. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Me and my wife created Painted Creek Productions about 8 years ago. I've been writing, directing, producing, acting ever since. And we actually started because the film incentives in Michigan were pulled. And I said, who is going to make any films in Michigan that goes anywhere in the world? And I just decided it was going to be us.
Well, that's a great point, right? We were talking a little bit during pre-interview with Jeff and Harley about the incentives when Granholm was in office. And that was due because it was the housing bubble and automotive was at a halt, and we had to think quick on our feet like Michigan does. Go ahead, Jeff, and speak to that because then she brought in the movie incentives.
Yep, she brought in the incentives, so a lot of Hollywood, Atlanta people would come, and we did quite a few movies. And then as soon as that went away, they went away, and they took off to Atlanta, went back to Atlanta and Hollywood.
Well, they did do that, and like I remember Ben Affleck being here, Batman versus Superman. I mean, a lot of stars were spotted all around. They did a lot of filming in Detroit, I know, and all over. And this was like a roughly 10 years ago, I want to say. I'm going on my dates.
Yeah.
Because it's when I was working in television, and we were in the Detroit market a lot, and this is when Gilbert was just bringing Quicken downtown.
Yeah.
And Bedrock was buying everything. And then we kind of created, and I'll talk to you a little bit, Harley, about, and both of you actually, kind of these, I don't want to say sleeper cells, that's terrible, but like these acting cells, right? We had this little great acting community.
Yeah. Michigan is actually incredibly strong. We don't have as many actors as Atlanta or LA or anything like that, obviously. But we have a core that's actually excellent that we've been using an awful lot in our films and kind of making our own Hollywood here. And a lot of people that are local actors are really starting to sprout through into national shows. Right now, Michigan filmmaking is huge on Tubi, which is actually one of the
Tubi is huge.
People don't get this. They have 1.7% market share. Just to give you an idea what HBO Max has, it's 1.2. Tubi has now surpassed Paramount. I mean, they're exploding. And the one after that is Freevee. Freevee, people don't barely even know about. They have 70 million regular monthly users watching their movies on Freevee. So there are some incredible opportunities to kind of reach an audience.
A big market.
Now. Yeah.
Zach, did you know about Tubi and Freevee?
I know about Tubi.
Yeah. Tubi, well, I've known, because through Raphael, we knew about Tubi a lot. So we have a lot of really good friends in the film and movie industry here locally. So we can speak your love language right now. We're really passionate about that. And what, like, to your point too, Harley, and your point too, Jeff, is that little kind of niche industry, which is really big, like you said, in Michigan, has really stuck together. So you have kind of a really big talent pool to pull from here locally. Go ahead, Jeff.
You know, I'm just going to say there's a lot of talent, and they love us. They're in all kind of movies. I just can't give them enough credit. Harley does an awesome job with them when he directs them, and they just grow. They're just flourishing right now.
Me and Zach can star in your next movie. It can't be a love story, though, because his wife will kill me. But it could be like suspense where he tries to kill me. Dun, 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 dun. But just consider us for a role. We could be even in the background, don't you think? Like, we could be a tree.
Yeah, we do all of our casting calls locally. We generally do an in-person call, usually at Royal Oak at the Actors Loft. And then we do online submissions. We average, this is important to know, we average 700 to 1,000 submissions for about 25 roles. So,
I just want to be a tree.
The people that are like, hey, could you get me in your next movie? It's like, do you go ask the Pistons if you can play on it's the same thing. It doesn't sound like it, but it really is.
That's really cool. I mean, it's amazing, to be honest. So, Jeff, how do you find the talent?
A lot of times I'll use Facebook when I need extras. He finds the talent pretty much the way what he just said, but I'm in charge of like extras. Correct. He does the main talent.
If you speak, it goes through me, and my wife Katie is actually the casting director for our films. She has an amazing eye, and sitting through 1,000 submissions.
So you have a portal? Like, how do people get a hold of you? We'll talk about that at the end, but tell me a little bit.
So Painted Creek Productions has a Facebook page. On that Facebook page, we post the casting calls, and then it's shared by everybody who works with us. And sometimes we do casting calls on Actors Access, etc. But that's what we do.
Mostly you use your Facebook.
Yes.
It's all that's needed.
So cool. Do you ever use Ryan? I remember back in the day we used Ryan Hill Casting. Is he still around?
He's
Hill
still
Casting?
around. Yeah,
Love
still
that.
around.
So, and then you go, so you do the main. Who writes the scripts?
It varies. I wrote the last couple that are coming up for us now. The one we're shooting later this summer, I wrote. It's a true story about domestic violence and survival against all odds. It's a story that when I took down the notes of the woman that this happened to, I said, I have to tone this down because nobody's going to believe that this actually happened.
So you guys are really big advocates, though, of, I know, like, your next couple of projects are really domestic violence based, so you're really big advocates of getting the story out and just, no pun intended, but painting the picture of what people deal with, because people have no clue.
Yeah. Well, it was really interesting how this landed in our lap. My lawyer, Bill Dubreff, so shout out to another lawyer,
I've got 5 criminal defense on speed dial. It's fine. Go ahead. Shout out to lawyers.
He said, I have this woman, Netflix approached her about doing a documentary on her story. It's a highly publicized case. They were on Inside Evil with Chris Cuomo. It was one of the most popular episodes.
Tell me about, can you tell us a little bit without telling us a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm working on it. So essentially what we did was I met with Nicole and she told me her story and asked if I'd be interested in making the film. At that point, pretty much nobody knew that I grew up as a kid in a domestic violence household.
Wow.
And I never said anything to anyone. And all of a sudden I felt this shame of not ever speaking up and not ever making a difference on something that should be so close. But that's the problem.
Well, can I
with
ask you a
domestic
question? How old
violence
are
is
you? Do you mind me asking in front of everyone?
I'm at least 25.
I get that. But see, back in the day, what happened in your four walls?
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the generational wave, right? Like you just didn't talk about shit
Yeah.
that happened in your house.
Nothing.
Plus, Harley, in your defense, like living in that household, that's all you knew. So you didn't know it was wrong either. I mean, I'm sure as you got
I knew.
older, you did.
Yeah, when you get thrown
Oh,
downstairs
I'm
you
not
know,
saying-
waking up with a knife to your throat, those,
Yeah.
you know that's
Ooh,
wrong.
Hi. Can I have
Yeah.
frosted flakes? And can you put your knife down, dad or mom or whoever,
Yeah.
brother, sister?
Plus 1 in 3.
In Zach's family, it was the brothers and the sisters fighting. Those old school. But you did know as a young child and as you grew up adolescent, it was wrong, but it's not. I think I'm 52, so I'll just say it. Gee, I said it. You just didn't talk outside your four walls. I did.
Yeah.
But nothing like that happened to me. But my mom was also a therapist. That's
no
why I need
support
therapy.
system back then really for any of it. There was,
So-
how do you, one of the things that we found out just from Finding Nicole is how hard it is to leave and what that means. And I understand why
yeah.
they stay because the leaving and trying to stay at a shelter.
There's no
and,
support.
and the shelters are not
Terrible.
well run. And you're not always safe. There's a lot of things that I think the system has to improve upon, and that's what I love about our film Finding Nicole that's on the festival circuit right now. It tackles those things too, which most films kind of skip by.
They sure do. And real quickly, just to piggyback on your point, and I'll let you finish, is that it's not that the system is massively flawed. The shelters and the people that work there are amazing. They just don't have the funding, and they don't have the space and the support staff to keep
The advocacy
to sustain.
is weak.
Yeah. So when you leave, you go and you're taking care of it in the short term, but for long term, you've got to leave and then you're screwed and then you're in danger again. Go ahead.
Well, and beyond that, and Nicole, the actual Nicole that this happened to, she's really busy at the Capitol
Thank God.
changing laws. But like up until just recently, if you filed any motions or anything was going on, your address was handed to the person that abused you.
Can you believe that?
Yes.
It's insanity, and that
I can't
just
believe that.
got changed. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how do we make it hard for a victim to be safe? It's hard enough already.
Well, let me tell you real quick too, as I coach volleyball, and it's getting really aggressive and angry and mean. And we have young coaches that we're mentoring and bringing up. And one coach was vitriol and terrible, and her parents started screaming at one of our younger coaches. Then parents started filming our young baby coach, taking video of her. I had to pull her to the side in a private office. She was hyperventilating, having a panic attack, and she looked at me and she said, "They're taking my picture." We have no idea what social media and how this all affects our psyche, our babies, let alone women. And domestic violence, in all fairness, too, let's be real, goes both ways. So,
Yes.
so I'm not surprised. So what I calmed her down is I said, honey, I've been coaching for 25 years, plus I'm in media. So, honey, I'm in the underground. Videos are everywhere. You're going to be fine. But that's our reality. That's our new norm.
Yep.
So I'm not surprised her address is out. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, and that is where we are. I think we are all of a sudden public people somehow because everybody's walking around with a great video camera in their pocket at all times, and instead of stepping in and stopping things that shouldn't happen, they record them. That's just that's where we are, and hopefully we can change that. The whole of I don't care lifestyle
Bullshit.
has to change. We have to start
Bullshit.
caring again.
Yeah, we don't you think, Jeff, we just have to bring humanity back?
We need to start listening to the women when they are reporting this, because 1 in 3 women are victims of domestic violence. 1 in 7 men, but the men don't report, so you know that there's a lot more out there than what's being reported.
Than you would ever say. And then what's hard too is when you are a victim of it or you've experienced it, there's kids involved. And it's hard because, sometimes those momentary lapse of judgment can trickle, and you don't want those moments to define someone, especially when they're fathers of your children.
Yeah, and that's also what makes it tricky to leave, because I think a lot of times you really want to believe that the person can change.
Yeah.
And to give them a chance. And I'm all for second chances, but it cannot endanger people.
Yeah.
We have to be better at this. And that's another thing that Nicole is doing. She actually teaches at high schools red flags so that people can learn if a partner has red flags that may turn into something. But also what I love that she's doing, instead of getting tainted from this, she also talks to the people with the red flags.
And how to
Because
change
she's
the
a counselor of how to
behavior.
work and improve yourself.
Can we meet her?
Love
Can I have her
it.
on?
Oh my God.
Will you connect me?
Yeah, we will definitely.
Because that's just it.
She's
because
fantastic.
I'm seeing it now more with the young men. And because it's a learned behavior or it's an innate anger, rage thing. You know what I mean? And it's hormones and it's...
Well, after she talks, a lot of young men and gentlemen
Yes.
come up to her and say they're either a part of that household or they feel
They
that
feel
they
it.
have anger issues.
So she's getting to the root problem, because
Yep.
the thing with Nicole is what she needs to do is get there early, because all these babies, everything, it's preventable, and we can get in there and get to the root problem and start changing the behavior and educate and educate and educate.
And even if you
I love
don't
you
get
guys.
everybody, every little bit matters. If you just get one person saying, hey, I watched this movie, what can I do? Whether that is to put some money into a shelter, whether that is to speak on behalf, if that is to push legislation, like there's little things we can all do.
And it's so funny, even like during the voting back in 2020, not to bring politics up because we're not going to, but I have a daughter who's getting married. Love you, my mommy loves you, this year. And my son-in-law's Republican, and he's staunch Republican, and he's right to bear arms, and I love him. I'm not mad at him. But I said to Mila, and then my little daughter is, love you, Meg, mommy loves you. She's wildly passionate on the blue end, and I said to Mila, get out. They didn't vote, I'll say that, but me and Meg did. And actually, Mila did vote that year. And Mila goes, Mom, I just don't think what I say is going to matter. And I said, Mila, you have no idea. You can speak to the masses, the critical mass, like Mommy does, but you will change one person. And I promise you will. You will.
Absolutely.
It's really incredible. Like, you'll never, and then like years later, people will come back to me and go, hey, you said this. And it's like nuggets.
Yes.
Right? It's like nuggets. So Painted Creek, so thank you guys so much for all your advocacy. Thank you to Nicole. Please connect me to her.
Yes, for sure.
Oh, did you mention the Enough Initiative?
That is that's her nonprofit organization that she runs it all through. It's called the Enough Initiative, and we do these domestic violence-based films in
For her?
association with
Yes,
her.
in
Yeah, and to
connection
give
with-
her a bigger stage to talk about
And a big
her
platform.
issues. And I think because I was a kid in these, I get to speak with the voice of the child so that doesn't get left behind, because that is a real thing too. It's scarring as a kid.
It's
Statistically
trauma.
speaking, most kids that grow up in these households end up doing the same thing that the perpetrator is doing. And I turned out, it's like kids of a smoking household either turn into smokers too, or they're the biggest
Anti-smoke.
anti-smokers ever.
Yeah,
And that's kind of
yeah.
what happened to me. I became the exact opposite of my stepdad.
It goes either way, don't you think? Like you're like, I don't want to feel like how I felt, or you perpetuate the cycle. It's generational.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Harley. Thank you for being the change we need to see out there, definitely. And I think you both are really great guys. So, and Zach, he's a good guy, I guess. But I think too, even with what I want to get the message out to is shit happens, and those incidences with the domestic violence, if they're habitual, we got to get them away and off the streets. But these, and I'm not by any means, I'm not protecting anyone, but if you have it and you have incidences and they seem to be more often than not, please go get help. There is no shame in any of that. Go get help. Go get help. There's so much help to treat it. And cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's not your fault. It's not. I mean, look at how, like Harley said, he grew up in it. It's all he knew, and he could be a statistic.
Yeah, and we don't even really know if it's genetics why I'm not, or if it's nature nurture. So we don't know. So you're dead on right, and this is the one thing I want to highlight with the current generation that's bubbling up here, allowing everybody to talk about their mental health and how they're feeling, because it is so crucial. For so long, it was just bottled up, especially men.
Yes.
Especially men. It was like suck. Everybody has had, a movement, and men has been just told, go do the job and shut the hell up.
Well, I have 2 grandsons. Hi, Junior and Nenny. They're out here. Bennett and Robert David Bottoms III.
Cuties.
And Bennett. Aren't they the best?
Adorable.
Hi, Grandma. They're naughty, but I love you. Do naughty. Get off your brother's head. I love you, Grandma. Okay, you can jump back on your brother's head. It's fine. But that's the thing, too, and I got to talk to her. Sorry, Molly, you're going to see this after the fact. But the fall, and you got Noah, you've got sons, you've got Declan, you've got 2 sons, he's got a daughter, beautiful daughter, Katie. How old's Katie now? 19? Oh, God, I'm sorry. She's gorgeous. That they fall and they get back up. I'm okay, Grandma. I'm okay. I'm like, honey, you can cry. It's okay. You hurt yourself. Okay, good, because it hurts. But that's just it. It's and my son-in-law is number 3 of 4 big corn-fed big boys. They're 4-wheelers. They bear arms. They fight. Well, back in the day, not anymore, of course. Yeah. But, that's how they were raised. And now they're raising the babies like that, where Grandma says, it's okay, honey. You can talk to Grandma about it. So, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. Men were raised, suck it up, get it out there. And mental health, like, I came from a therapist mom, and I'm done talking. It's the sugar you gave me. But back in the day, in the 80s, where they treated, like, just schizophrenia, psychosis. Yeah. And now, mental health was not discussed back then. And now I'm so happy it's in the forefront of a platform, because it's mind, body, soul. Jeff, don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I just wanted to add, too, that women usually get hit 36 times before they are even seeking help. And once is too much. So if anything happens...
Yeah.
I'm going to cry.
Yeah, I want them to get help. Yeah. Search help. Don't make it a financial thing. Just seek help.
Just get out.
Because it'll get better. Yeah. It'll get better in a year or 2.
It'll get worse. It'll get better.
It'll get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
you don't have to fight your demons alone, whatever they may be. I think that there are lots of people that would love to help, that would love to make a difference, and that would love to make the world a better place. So that's what I love about what Nicole is doing. Because imagine tackling this on a high school level.
No.
I mean, it's amazing to be able to talk to somebody at that age and say, check yourself, look within. If you see stuff you don't like, figure out what we can do about it.
We talk about how bad social media can be, but also social media can be so good, because that's such an outlet and an outreach and a tool to reach out for help, for sure.
When they say the root of all evil is money, there's also a lot of good that's been made from money, and it's the same thing with social media. Social media has a lot of bad things about it, but it's not actually social media that's bad. It's like saying the cars are bad. No, the driver. We got to teach them how to drive better.
And the exhaust is bad, though. Harley, the exhaust is bad. The oil's bad. The emissions are bad.
Well, all cars aren't driven that way.
I'm just kidding. You're absolutely
Hopefully,
right.
hydro energy will come soon, and it'll just be water.
Oh, why don't we just
bubbling
AI, and we'll just stay in our room, and we're driving through AI. Just kidding. That's another show. But yeah, you know what? And you're right. Like, money has. So send money. Speaking of sending money, how can people donate to your cause?
Well, we are actually just starting up. We have about 1/3 of the budget in already for our next film, and we're going to have an event here.
We're going to have an event here at Gateway Center and Convention Center.
On the 15th, we will be here, and we're doing an investor event first, where people that are interested in not only, and the nice thing is, it's not donating. You're actually working on getting a return.
Yeah.
And
there's actual ROI.
Yeah, I mean, we have films that are doing quite well on the marketplace, and what's nice about investing in film, if you invest with somebody that makes films that go somewhere, is that you have a long lifespan. I mean, we released Betrayed in 2018. We're still getting $40,000 a year on that movie.
Wow.
Just
Residuals.
residuals. It's passive
Zach.
income forever.
What's wrong with us?
It's not.
So it's a really good opportunity to make money and to make a difference. And anybody who's into legacy stuff, to be a producer on a film, to get to go down to LA and
Zach.
hang out
Red
with
carpet.
all
What's
the
wrong with us?
celebrities and do the red carpet thing. I mean, I've had investors that put $25,000 into my film that after the premiere went and said, Harley, it's
Done.
already worth it
Done.
for me.
Done.
And I'm like, well, you're going to be
Just
getting a
going to
lot
the
of
red
money.
carpet.
So
Just going to the red carpet.
Yeah,
they're
because
happy.
it's an amazing thing.
Oh,
you
we'll
know?
be there, Harley. We're your new best friend.
Chinese theater in LA is a
You're not
great
getting
spot
rid
to
of
premiere.
us. Well, that's so exciting for Painted Creek Productions. 8 years, and going strong. I'm
Over
really,
a dozen
really proud
projects
of
on
you
the
guys.
marketplace. Crazy.
Well, LA actually, our last movie came to Harley, and
Yeah.
we did that all here in Flint. And
Be careful about how much you share on that one, though, because that is not our movie.
oh no, I wasn't going to go any further into
But-
detail
okay,
on
well,
the
to-
movie.
To
But
Jeff's point is Flint has so much talent,
Oh,
and that's where
yeah.
you dig a lot of your talent pool is in Flint. Go ahead, Jeff.
nope, that
Speak
was
to
exactly
that.
no. You said it. So
Great locations, great people. Food, a lot of people were very complimentary on the food that we catered with our last film.
Well, speaking of
Super
food,
popular.
when you guys are here on the 15th, not to toot my own horn, but also Basil and Olive, we're partnering with Redwood,
cool.
with Redwood Lodge. So we're opening up a restaurant here called Basil and Olive. So that's going to be really exciting. So we've got a lot, like you said, downtown Flint.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, you guys, such great things. Painted Creek Productions. How can people get a hold of you?
Social media, we have Instagram and Facebook are probably the two places we're the most active. The Facebook especially because that's where the casting calls go out.
Perfect.
The crew calls go out. The extra calls go out. Originate almost always out of those.
And what is your Facebook?
Painted Creek Productions.
Painted Creek Productions. And
Which is named after the trail where I live. That's
in Lake Orion?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys check it out, Painted Creek Productions. And then anything else you want to add, you guys?
No, I just think I would love to have some people come out here and join us for our event on the 15th because
June-
that's going to be a lot of fun. And I think again, being a part of something like this, it's a bit of legacy work and a nice investment. So we'd love to see some people come be a part and enjoy it with us.
I love that.
investors and afterwards. So
Yeah, we'd
do
love
some networking.
to do some networking afterwards, to get some actors and everybody, if we can hang out and especially because most of these things end up being in Royal Oak, it's in Ferndale, it's in
it
Detroit.
always-
I'm like, why can't we do one here?
We're going to start having
Let's
them
do
here
it.
monthly. So you guys, June 15th, Basil and Olive right here in Gateway Center and Gateway Hotel Center and Convention Center. I said that all wrong. It's fine. And then June 15th, 5 p.m. it starts, correct? 5:30?
Yes,
5:30?
5:30.
Mix and mingle with the who's who in the film industry
well,
here.
first it'll be the investor portion will be
Sorry,
its own
when do
separate
people
thing.
can arrive around 6:30ish?
Yeah, 6:30. Then
arrival.
we'll have a little mingle and hang out and do all that fun stuff.
But now's your chance because we love to pay it back, and
Well,
it might
and
be-
we are actually, because of how well the last few films have done, we have a third of the budget in already. We have 3 people from our prior investors that won in, so we're gonna be pretty close. But one of the things that people don't understand is when you make a film, you will end up with all kinds of needs, and you'll be like, can we find a shooting range?
There
Can
will
we
be so
find this?
much.
Can we do that? And if you have some investors, usually those people are entrepreneurs and have multiple businesses, and we
They-
can reach deeper into the community
Yeah.
through them.
And they want to be a part of something that's really fun and special and
Yeah.
like you said, a legacy. So it's really exciting. So come hang out on the 15th
Yeah.
with Harley and Jeff. Jeff Berry, thank you, Carol Jaworski, for connecting me with Jeff
You rock.
Berry.
appreciate that. Thank you, Carol.
And thank you, Jeff Berry, for stalking me and staying on top of me because Kristen has a very busy life. So that was really good. Thank you so much because we got the event done and we're so excited. Harley, so great to meet you. Thank you for being on the show. You guys are so amazing. Me and Zach are thrilled to have you as our first inaugural
Yay.
guest for the Kristen Willow Show because guess who's back? Back again. Okay.
Should somebody tell a friend?
Tell 20 friends. Painted Creek Productions, you guys rock. We'll see you all on the 15th. Big thank you to our viewers and listeners. Thank you, Harley, Jeff. And of course, a big thank you to my guy, Zach. And
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Roz.
Thank you, Roz. This has been Shannon. Thank you, or Frazier. This is Kristen Willis-Sanovich, and this has been the Kristen Willow Show.